I'm just messing around with this GoPro camera. I hope it's working. So here's one of the heaters that is in your, I'm trying to get it looking at the camera. I get the camera on my head here, so forgive me. So I don't know which end came out. So you have this, and then you have a little connector that slides on here, and that gets crimped on. And then you have your wire that goes into here, and it gets crimped on. So I don't know which part of that fell off, but we're going to go over it all. So you're going to want these, a pair of crimpers. It doesn't have to be this kind, but you know, you're going to want a pair. And maybe a small pair of needle nose like this, and something sharp, like I use this little awl, which works perfect for this because it fits right inside of here, and you can pry these up. So let's get started here. The first thing I'm going to do, you have this solid conductor coming out of the heater cartridge, right? So you're going to slip. So this guy has two ends, right? It has this little end. I'm not sure if you can see that. So it has this little end right here, and then you have the big long end, and the big long end goes in toward the heater because that's what you're going to bite the conductor coming out of the heater with. And then once you get it in there, just snug it up to that wire where you know it ain't going to come off. I mean, don't crush it, but you want to give it a good squeeze, and it will squeeze itself onto that conductor. So you can still slide it a little bit. You want to squeeze it in, and then squeeze it down. And then it's okay to bend these a little bit. Hopefully they won't break on you. And you want to crimp that guy. Alright, that ain't going anywhere. So that's nice and on there. Now you want to open up this little guy here. Again, I'm sorry if you can't see this guy. So you're going to want to open this guy up like this, just until you can get the wires in there. I mean, don't flex it all the way open. And we'll get that in there, and then crimp that. Crimp it down tight. Again, I like to use solder here, but it's not necessary. And then get this guy in here and crimp it down tight. You just have to mess with it until you get it seated right. I mean, you can replace the connector with a butt splice too if you want. That will also work, but it'll be a little bulky. Alright, so we're going to repair a heater that the wire popped off the conductor, like you see here. So here we have the wire. Here we have the gold crimp. Sorry, the camera's on my head. So one way to do this is we can wrap this guy around. Nice and tight. And if you have a little pair of needle nose, maybe just a little bend there to kind of discourage it from coming off. And then we're gonna get our solder and iron, and I'm using some Radio Shack, I don't know if you can read that, silver bearing solder, 6236-2, and we're gonna tin our iron here. We're gonna get it going. We're gonna lay our iron like so until it's hot, and then we're gonna hit it with some solder. We're gonna make sure it's all up in the wire. You'll see it sink in. That should be good right there. Let it cool. And you have a solid repair job. That ain't going anywhere. And all you'd have to do is take these guys and slip them back over. Maybe nip this guy right here. You just gotta work that solder joint so that you can slide that back over there, and there you go, it's as good as new. That's one way to do it with the solder. You can also crimp it, but solder's probably your best bet. That's what I'm gonna say. There you go.